Johnson heads to the pocket. Layup, Johnson, good!
All right, welcome back, everybody. Another edition of Talkin Sports with me, Chris Powers, right here. And, of course, we got lots to talk about today. The PGA Tour was in New Orleans last week. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, of course, the Saints and the draft in general. And Mel Kiper had a mental breakdown on the air. We'll also talk about LSU softball, Southern baseball, Lady Tiger basketball, and is Texas beginning to dominate? We'll talk about that coming up here in just a moment. But we start with LSU baseball. What a big win over Tennessee. Oh, my goodness. I know, like everybody, I was concerned. I was concerned after Game 2 of this series. Game 1, LSU didn't get a hit until the 6th inning and got their 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. And a monster home run by Jerry Jones. Man, I was going crazy with that. It was the biggest, one of the biggest home runs I've seen. It was center field over the blue monster, over the black monster rather, at center field. It was absolutely unbelievable. As LSU wins the ball game in dramatic fashion, 6-3. Game 2, they didn't get a hit until the 5th inning of that game, and didn't score until the 7th inning. They lost 9-3. So beginning at that point, I began to wonder, does this team match up with Tennessee? I mean, are they as good on the level of Tennessee? Then here comes Game 3, and they shined, and shined huge. 13 hits, with 8 of them extra base hits. They scored in every inning but the 3rd and the 6th as they won 12-2, 10-run rule in 8 innings. Absolutely incredible. One of the top teams in the nation, defending national champions, and they dominated that game. So 2 questions come to Tiger fans now. Number 1, Michael Braswell III, is he the third baseman now? He's been solid all year with defense, but now his bat is starting to come alive a little bit. His fielding percentage is .940. He has only 3 errors in 42 games he's played. He started 27. His batting average, though, is .250. In 42 games, he has 84 at-bats, 21 hits, 4 doubles, and 2 home runs that came in this series against Tennessee. 2 home runs in this series. He scored 18 runs, but shockingly, he hasn't attempted a stolen base at all this year. I'm shocked by that because he can run. He's 0 for 0 on stolen base attempts. Wow. That's the biggest shock to me. Now, the second big question LSU fans have is Casey Evans a third-day starter for pitching? Man, he sure looked like he was. In fact, you could even say, next year he's going to be an easy, Friday night starter. This guy was unbelievable. I mean, he's an unbelievable athlete, first of all. He came to LSU as a 5-star shortstop, gave that up because he wanted to concentrate on pitching. But, boy, this guy looked good. This freshman had 5 shutout innings. After a very bumpy first inning, he gave up 2 runs. But, boy, in his first career start, he really threw it. 85 pitches. That's what Coach Jay Johnson wanted to keep him at. Around 80, 85 pitches, and he got him right on the dot, 85 pitches. And the last one clocked at 97 miles an hour. So he still had arm strength. But he said, cautiously, I just want to take you out. We got a big lead. Let's take you out, and let's see, first of all, number 1, the bullpen. I want to see how they're doing. But number 2, that's the longest he's pitched all year. That's the most pitches he's thrown all year, 85 pitches. Evans is 3-0 now on the season in his record with a 1.09 ERA, which is damn good. 13 appearances. He has 6 saves, 33 innings pitched, 24 hits on him, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 47 strikeouts, and a batting average against him of just .203. He has 1 wild pitch, 1, and 1 hit batter, 1 of each. That's pretty crazy. Jay Johnson is not committing to putting him as a third-day starter yet because of the fact he's so good and done so well on the bullpen. He may need him in Game 1. He may need him in Game 2. So, therefore, he's not committed yet to be a starter, but now he knows Evans can be a starter because that's his first start of the year. So he knows he could be the starter. Jonathan, what say you? Do you think he should be the third-day starter, and do you think Braswell should be at third base?
Well, Chris, first of all, great to see you again. And, yeah, what an exciting weekend for LSU baseball. If you were lucky enough to be in attendance after the 3-hour weather delay, or if you stayed awake until 1:35 a.m. to watch Bear Jones hit that monster home run, it was a feeling of excitement that is hard to describe. Happy for the Tiger fans that stayed and really showed out at the end. Just about 65.
And they were
fans.
loud.
Yeah, half full to say the least. But certainly, I tried to stay awake, Chris. I made it to the 8th inning. And then conked out. And then, of course, I wake up. Everybody's screaming, and I see Bear Jones getting his jersey ripped off.
Yeah.
See the highlight of the 452-foot blast that went over the batter's eye. It was incredible. And for them to close out Sunday the way they did, a walk-off hit by Luis Hernandez to get the 10-run rule and send Tony Vitello back to the showers. I thought it was pretty funny how Tony Vitello, interestingly, said on Sunday they got beaten every facet, and he almost lost a finger in the post-game handshake. So I think Coach Jay Johnson put that vice grip on him and let him know, hey, we the boss of college baseball.
Were you shocked on Sunday to see the open seats there? I was kind of shocked on that.
Yeah, I agree, Chris.
Maybe because it was hot?
Yeah, a game to decide the series, but yeah, absolutely, it was hot. A lot of other things going on, obviously, and it was a long weekend. But hey, who knows? Who knows for the empty seats or what the cause was? But nonetheless, to answer your questions, Casey Evans, I believe, has the it factor. His stuff is electric, but just like Jay Johnson, I would not cement him to be that Sunday starter role just yet. You might need him in game one, just like you said, to come out and pitch a big inning, get out of a tough spot, or even close out a game. The guy has that mental it factor. He can work through small hiccups on the mound. You saw him do it in the first inning against Tennessee in his first career start through 85 pitches. After the first inning, went scoreless through the next 5. So I'll say it right now, Chris, on your show. You can book it, take it to the bank. LSU has the best freshman class in the nation, and it's not necessarily close. To answer your question about Michael Braswell, I hope he does stay at third base. He's a slow starter. At least that's what he was last year for LSU at the plate. Definitely came around that SEC tournament, especially against South Carolina when it really mattered. He had clutch performances, clutch hits. But to have 2 shortstops on the left side of your infield is a big gift. It's a blessing.
Right.
Monster Milan plays outstanding ball at shortstop, and to have a true, great fielding glove at third base to go get those balls in the corner, wherever it is truly a blessing for Jay Johnson. So everything's working for the Tigers right now. You leave this weekend thinking we're one of the best 8 teams in the nation, a team that's destined for Omaha, a team that's destined to host a super regional.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Braswell off of third base, even for a midweek game like they're doing tonight on the taping of the shows on Tuesday. They're playing against Southeastern. I wouldn't take him out. I'd get him so comfortable at that position, it's not even funny. Obviously, he's just got to be able to get more bats. At 250, he's got to be able to hit more and more. Are you shocked he's 0 for 0 in stolen bases? Because he can fly.
Yeah, he can run pretty good. I'm not really shocked. I mean, it really has to be the right situation. And Braswell hits a lot of doubles, so it's not really stealing third a lot. To have 0 attempts, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, at this point in the season, you're well past the halfway point. It is kind of interesting he has 0 steal attempts, but hey, now he's a power hitter, Chris. Power hitters don't steal.
Unbelievable, man. LSU is now second in the SEC, tied for second with Arkansas, who's falling. Their stock is falling. Now, we still play them later on this year at Alec Box Stadium. Isn't it I think it's the last weekend series. It's always the case, usually the last weekend. So I think it's the last weekend LSU will play Arkansas, but they're falling right now big time. They're 14-7. That's Arkansas and LSU both at 14-7. 5 games behind Texas with 9 games left to play. Right now it looks like Texas is the team to beat in the SEC. They could win in their first season, win an SEC title outright. Right now the University of Texas and the Longhorns have not won a SEC championship outright. They won a share of the women's basketball, and they played in the SEC championship game for football, but didn't win it. And then, obviously, they were second best to South Carolina. There was no question. I think they were the second best team in the SEC ahead of LSU. But anyway, we'll talk more about that later on in the program if we've got time. The Tigers are number 2 in every poll. D1 Baseball, Baseball America, USA Today Coaches Poll, and ESPN. Now, here's the tricky thing. Their RPI is 9. They're 9th in the RPI. They've got work to do. They still got 9 games left. You still got work to do. And that's what the committee usually looks at, the RPI. That's strength of schedule, home games, road games, how you played against ranked teams and what have you, and an unranked team. So you got to be careful on that because right now, I'm not saying they would not be a super regional, but it'd be close. The committee would have to move another team behind LSU, and LSU at that number 8 super regional spot. So LSU's got to – and, of course, after that, you get the SEC tournament, which, by the way, all 16 teams make it, and it is a single elimination tournament. But a lot of people don't put a lot of stock in the SEC tournament. If you win it, that's great. If you don't, you don't. But we'll see. Right now, RPI rankings has LSU at number 9. So they're right there on that cut for Super Regional with the top 8. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the fiasco of the draft. Jeez and Pete's. People still talking about this. It's absolutely unbelievable. Later, we'll talk about the Saints draft. I'll give you my grade and all of that, and all the Shedeur Sanders malarkey. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're talking sports with me, Chris Powers, Jonathan in the house, Marty's in the house. Back after this time out right here on Pelican Sports TV.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fouget. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fouget today.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
If you're a wing lover like me, you already know where the best and biggest wings in Baton Rouge are. TJ Ribs on Acadian and I-10. But did you know they also provide some of the best catering in town? Yeah. Their catering packages are custom built for parties and tailgates and overflowing with the tastiest barbecue you can find. Whether you go with the MVP package, the Heisman, or the Natty, you can't go wrong with TJ Ribs because it's not just jumbo wings. They serve up truly tender beef brisket, perfectly roasted pulled pork, and smoky fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs. Don't forget the savory sausage and chopped beef. Come on down to TJ Ribs on Acadian and I-10, proud sponsors of the LSU Tigers and the Southern University Jaguars.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Chris Powers, talking sports right here. We got Marty in the house. Got, of course, Jonathan in the house. And Jonathan, you said that LSU schedule it's the second to last series.
That's correct. Arkansas at home next week. Well, this weekend LSU will take on Texas A&M on the road. Next weekend, Arkansas at home. The midweek game against Grambling will be the last midweek game of the season, and then the final weekend we'll go to South Carolina, Columbia to take on the Gamecocks.
Paul Maneri. And
that's it.
Look, first year, he's going to get it. I mean, he's a good guy, good baseball coach. He'll get it. He'll hopefully turn that program around. Very nice guy every time I've met him. First thing he says, hey, Chris, what's happening, man? So he's just a great guy, I'll tell you that. NFL draft, and nobody on TV wanted to say it. No NFL exec wanted to say it, but here's the deal. It was not a deep draft. And it's not only quarterbacks. It was not a deep draft. When you're getting this draft, what you're looking at on this draft is backups. You got a couple of starters in the front, backups. The best athlete in the draft was Travis Hunter out of Colorado. And Cleveland did a boneheaded move. I mean, I don't care. You're dumb. Now, you get a first-round pick next year. But they made a bonehead move and traded that away instead of getting Shedeur Sanders. Getting Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter's got to be saying, thank you, sweet Jesus, for not going to Cleveland. Thank you. Unbelievable. The oldest franchise in the league and hadn't been to a Super Bowl. Unbelievable. So, they got a lot of picks this year. But, again, this year, are you kidding? They do have a number 1 pick next year. They do with Jacksonville because they traded that pick to Jacksonville, and Travis went to Jacksonville. And I think he's got a better shot there. They're building a new stadium soon. Well, renovating their stadium. I think they have he has a better future there. The only quarterback in this draft that got near an A, and I'm talking about A-, was Cam Ward. And he's nowhere near Jane Daniels. Nowhere near him. That's the only one that scored the A-. Jackson Dart, got a B+ for the New York Giants. I think the Saints would have gotten him if he was still available. They worked a lot with Jackson Dart, talked a lot with Jackson Dart. Tyler Shough, of course, went to New Orleans. He gets a B. Now, there's fans are not happy. He's 7 years he's played in college football because of all the injuries that he's had. He's 20. He's going to be 26 in the fourth week of the season in the fall.
Yep.
But the thing about it is, Nick Saban loved him. A lot of people, Todd McShay loves him. A lot of people have talked about it. A lot of coaches talked about this guy's going to shock you. He's 6'5". He's a big guy. He has a good arm. And I know a lot of people are showing on that on TikTok and Facebook the pass that he missed, a wide receiver by a good amount. But one you could see, if you know anything about football, when you see that receiver turning, that receiver slipped right there on that turn when he made the turn to cut on the crossing route. So, I mean, look at his game film. You'll see he's an accurate passer. I mean, Saban loved this guy, but we'll talk more about him coming up with the Saints in the draft. Jalen Milroe, Seattle, C at best. I maybe a C-. He's not a very good quarterback. He's a good athlete, but now you're going against the big boys. You try to run that inside stuff, you're not playing LSU, brother. You try to run that inside stuff through the A gap or the B gap, you're going to get your head knocked off. I promise you that. And I don't look for him to be a starter anytime soon. Obviously, they've got their guy, I think, in Seattle that I think he's going to have an opportunity to be very good. Dylan Gabriel also went to Cleveland. See, that's why I told you how Cleveland really looked goofy. They had two quarterbacks back-to-back. This guy gets an F. And Shedeur Sanders, I'll give him a B. He's an all-right quarterback. I watched him, in his starts at Jackson State. And then I watched his highlights at Colorado. Sanders did exactly what his dad did when he was drafted. 1989, Deion Sanders, primetime, coming from Florida State, goes to the New York Giants for a pre-draft interview. And they have a test that every player has to take, and it's about as big as a phone book, he said. And he said, what you want to do with that? I want you to take this test. Every player has to take this test before we decide how good they do and what have you. Oh, I'll be drafted before you because the New York Giants had the 18th pick in that draft. He said, no, I'm not doing that test. Are you out of your mind? I'm not doing that test. You got to be nuts. Troy Aikman that year went number 1. Barry Sanders went number 3. Derek Thomas went number 4. And Deion Primetime went number 5. Now, here's the problem. Prime was flashy. I don't think of the best cornerback in the world, but he was a good cornerback. And when he got the football in an interception or a punt return, I mean, he danced his way down to the end zone. He was very flashy. He was very good. His son is an okay quarterback. He can't do what Deion Sanders did, period. Like Shaquille O'Neal's son just transferred out of that school again to Sacramento State, I believe. He's gone. I think that's his 5th school now he'll be playing for. He's gone. And Shaq is going to be the general manager there, getting no salary. Takes the man's job away. Good job, Shaq. But anyway, so he was 4th in passing this year, Shedeur Sanders, at 4,134 yards, 2nd in touchdowns at 37. He threw 10 interceptions and was 13-12 overall as a starter at Colorado. When you look at him, he holds onto the football way too long. He's not a flashy runner. He doesn't have the speed that Jackson does for Baltimore. And he's got a superb arm. He didn't have a strong arm. He didn't have a Jaden Daniels arm or even a Joe Burrow arm. He doesn't have that. He didn't take the pre-draft process seriously. In some reports, he tanked for a lot of those interviews because he didn't want to go to that team. His dad said at the end of 2024, we're not going to let him just go to any team. We're going to dictate what team he goes to because I know behind the curtains, he said. Now, come March, he changed his tune. Oh, he can go to any team. Well, they heard you. The NFL owners heard you. And then at the same time, he comes out, Shedeur Sanders comes out and says, if a team can't get their stuff together, I don't want to go to that team. So you better get your stuff together before I come. Owners and general managers heard that. In fact, owners told general managers, there's a report that just came out yesterday. Nobody's saying what owner it is, and of course they're not going to. But there's owners came out and said, I do not want him. Don't want him. Don't put him on the draft board. Take him off right now. Take him off. If you had him on the draft board, take him off right now. And that's a lot what happened. Again, it goes by your attitude. You go back to the 1998 draft. Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf, neck and neck. In fact, when I looked at talent evaluation, I saw Ryan had a little bit more talent than Peyton Manning, but he didn't have it here. He didn't have it at the brains. He didn't do the film study. So when the Indianapolis Colts, Bill Polian, talked to Peyton Manning, what would you do with your signing bonus when you get it? I'm going to help my family, obviously, and I'm going to help the community. I want to be a big pillar in this community, and I want to be able to do things for this community in Indianapolis to make it better. Ryan Leaf, what are you going to do with your money? I'm going to Vegas as soon as I get it. As soon as I sign that check, I'm going to Vegas. In fact, before I sign the check, I'm going to Vegas. That's why Peyton Manning got number one. And Ryan Leaf played in 5 total seasons. 5. 3 as a starter, and the other 2 were there, hit and miss. They were backups, and he didn't make it. He went to several teams after, I think, 3 other teams after that, after San Diego. It all because you think about it, these owners are investing a lot of money in you. They're investing a ton of money in you. When you go to the draft combine, you got to get in a room with a bunch of guys there, and you got to strip to your underwear. And they're poking like you're in a cattle, like you're being picked at a cattle in Fort Worth. They're hitting to see if you have any muscle, how much is his flab, how much is muscle, all that stuff. You got to do this in the combine. He didn't do that. He didn't throw in the combine. He said, no, I'm not going to the Senior Bowl. I'm not going to play in the Senior Bowl. He had a controlled atmosphere in his pro day at Colorado. And he tanked on some of including the New York Giants. Now, he said it first, and then he took it away. Then another scout came and said, that was the worst interview in all the 20-plus years I've been doing football. Interviewing Shedeur Sanders was the worst interview I've ever had in any player. He tanked it all. And do you think that don't count? Look at Ryan Leaf. Look at Ryan Leaf. His attitude is an F. His play is about a B. His attitude is an F. That ain't going to work. It's not going. I wouldn't draft him if you're going to play like that. So the bottom line is where they got him late, obviously, in the draft. I was 144th pick. You're going to be a backup. You're a backup. Congratulations. And nobody wants a flashy or superstar backup because there's too much distraction in the locker room. It didn't happen for a lot of players. Tim Tebow in the New York Jets didn't happen for him. Too flashy. Nobody wanted him. Same thing in New England. After Matt came in, they didn't want him after that. He was gone. So the thing about it is, you're looking at that, I think that was the main reason that he didn't get drafted, is your attitude. That is key. If your attitude is bad, I mean, unless you are above and beyond everybody else in the quarterback spot, which he's not, 13-12 as a starter, you're not going to be drafted. You're going to be drafted way down the line. And you're going to Cleveland. Congratulations. That's where people go to die, is Cleveland. Like I said, I mean, you could be a cancer in the locker room if he doesn't get his way. And who wants that? Now, he's got an opportunity to motivate himself and turn this around and be a Tom Brady, be an Aaron Rodgers. Late pick, but when I show you on the field what I can do, look out. Also, he's got another thing, Jonathan, that a lot of people are saying. He's only been coached by one coach, his own dad. His own dad, who put him, who retired his jersey at Colorado, and he was 13-12 as a starter. So, were you surprised that he dropped as far as he did, Jonathan?
Well, was I surprised? Yes, I was. And I think the reason I was surprised is because every talking head from college and NFL told you he was a top 5 pick. And they told you how talented he was and how NFL ready he was and how he was ready to step into an organization and save the day right now. And that simply wasn't the case. I don't know if it was his dad's, relationships with NFL personnel, college talking media to kind of shine a positive light. This man was 13-12. At Colorado, never even competed for a conference championship. He did have a lot of touchdowns last year in an offense that was specifically designed for him while he threw to one of the most dynamic athletes in college history. The production wasn't there outside of standing in the pocket and throwing to wide open receivers. Like you said, holds the ball too long, not great pocket mobility, not a great athlete, and a mediocre arm. Does make quick decisions, and that was really what they were harping on. He has great decision-making ability. He understands, coverages, what the defense is trying to do beforehand, and that is an NFL trait. You need to have that in the NFL. You have to throw into windows with anticipation and accuracy, and I think Shedeur Sanders does a pretty good job of that. The only problem is he's not a game changer. He's a game manager. He has to have talent around him to succeed. And Deion Sanders, the real prime time, he can change a game. He can intercept the ball, just like you said, catch a punt return, score points to the defense. You can throw him in an offense in a gimmick play if you want, just to give a distraction. He was a game changer. You get his son now, who has the same attitude but way less talent. And unfortunately for Shorter Sanders, I think the attitude outweighed the talent. Watching the draft, though, having Mel Kiper cry on TV about how he couldn't believe this happened, and then former NFL players, talking heads across the board, talk about how much of a travesty this was. Turned it into a race thing, Chris, when 90% of the NFL is African American, okay? The last, I think, 2 or 3 first-round picks were black quarterbacks. So I don't – and look, it's not the fans who make the choice. Like, I don't get the line in the sand to everybody who thought that Shedeur Sanders did not deserve to go in the first round. All of a sudden, they're like the bad guy. The fans have no control. It was the owners, the coaches, and the general managers that decided this guy was not a first or third draft pick. Sorry to say, that's just the truth. Their jobs were on the line. They break down film. They interview hundreds of players, and the ones that they believe are high character, especially for an organization like the Saints. The Saints always go for team captains, just like they did in this draft, high character guys, locker room guys that fit the culture of the team. You don't want to bring in a distraction to be your rookie project quarterback. Now, for Shedeur Sanders, like you said, he could take this as complete motivation, show those 31 other teams why they should have took him. And for the Browns, I mean, you have 2 rookie quarterbacks in a very loaded quarterback room. Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and now Shedeur Sanders, all in the same quarterback room. Yeah. And you have to let one or both of the rookies play. You have to find out if you possibly got lucky and struck gold with one of these guys while they're on the rookie contract, maximize their value, and just – hey, start a new page, a new era with whoever you choose and move on with it. You don't want to be picking a quarterback again next season in the first round if you just spent all this draft capital on quarterbacks, on a franchise, on a roster that's truly far away from being a playoff contender than just needing a young quarterback.
No question about that. And you bring up Mel Kiper. Oh, are you kidding me? ESPN. All right, first of all, you say who they're going to pick, and nobody goes by you. There's no general manager that listens to you. There's no coach that says, we got to pick what Mel Kiper said. Nobody. In fact, there was years ago, a general manager was interviewed about Mel Kiper, and he says, who? Mel Kiper?
Who the hell is Mel Kiper?
Exactly. He's never been a player. He's never been a scout. He's never been a general manager. And what he got so ticked off about, he's never been accurate. I think Mike Detilier's, predictions are better than this guy's.
Yeah. That was Bill Polian who said that, Chris.
What's that?
That was Bill Tobin from the Colts who said, who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
I mean, this guy is absolutely horrible. So he was so upset, he had a breakdown on the air and was kind of getting a little argument right there at the first part with Greeny a little bit. And the thing about it is, he said that NFL can't scout quarterbacks in the last 30 years. Who are you to say that, bro? Who are you? I don't even know why the hell they kept this guy. I thought Todd McShay was much better than this in breaking a player down. They let Todd McShay go, and they kept this guy. And no general manager, like I said, listens to him. He broke down on the air, and everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking, but he got so upset that he had Shedeur Sanders as the number 2 player, and he went down to 144. That should show ESPN right there that nobody in the National Football League respects your guy. Nobody. And for him to have that kind of a breakdown on the air right there in front of live people, I don't know about you. I watched the Game Day Crew on ABC. That's who I watched. And one time I went to the NFL Network and watched a little bit of that coverage, but I never watched the ESPN coverage.
I was Game Day. Yeah, Game Day the whole draft.
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of that. And like I said, Mel Kiper was absolutely embarrassing. He was horrible, unbelievable. That guy is just terrible, and for him to do what he did, have that breakdown on the air, is absolutely ridiculous. When we come back, we will talk about the Saints draft, give you what we think is the grades, and tell you what other people thought they were the grades. We'll do that when we come back. We're talking sports with me, Chris Powers, Jonathan in the house, back after this time out right here on Pelican Sports TV.
If you're a wing lover like me, you already know where the best and biggest wings in Baton Rouge are. TJ Ribs on Acadian and I-10. But did you know they also provide some of the best catering in town? Yeah. Their catering packages are custom built for parties and tailgates and overflowing with the tastiest barbecue you can find. Whether you go with the MVP package, the Heisman, or the Natty, you can't go wrong with TJ Ribs because it's not just jumbo wings. They serve up truly tender beef brisket, perfectly roasted pulled pork, and smoky fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs. Don't forget the savory sausage and chopped beef. Come on down to TJ Ribs on Acadian and I-10, proud sponsors of the LSU Tigers and the Southern University Jaguars.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fouget. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fouget today.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're talking sports with me, Chris Powers, right here, and we'll talk about the Saints draft. Jonathan, let's play a little. Let's go with each draft pick, and you tell me what you think on this. I'll tell you what I think. Saints draft pick. All right, here we go. Offensive tackle, Kelvin Banks Jr. He's from Texas, 42-game starter. Probably going to be now the left tackle. They'll move Fiaga to the right tackle spot. Hands are big, but his arm reach is short. That's going to concern me a little bit. Is that? Because you got to have long, man. You got to have long arms, like Will Campbell. He's got long arms. You got to have some long arms to get that. But he pushes. He's got strength to make up for that. He pushes the defensive tackles to the second level, which means down basically right where the linebackers are. He pushes them out of the way, and that's what you need. He's been good all of his career at Texas. Bo Davis recruited him. You know that's he's now the line coach of the Saints. You know that's he was a big instrumental part in getting this guy. Look, they needed a good offensive tackle, the left tackle, and like I said, they're going to move Fiaga back to his normal spot at right tackle, I believe. He was an Outland Trophy winner. So in my book, this guy gets an A. I give the Saints an A for drafting this guy. I think now their offensive line is pretty good. I think they should have gotten one more guard, but we'll see. But I think right now, Jonathan, this could be the best line that the Saints have had for a long time.
Yeah, and considering that there was a bunch of talk about getting Jackson Dart with the 9th overall pick,
right.
I give Kelvin Banks Jr. an A+. Yeah, Saints absolutely should have gone offensive line. They had the worst offensive line in football last year. Could not keep Derek Carr healthy. He got hurt a couple times in the season. And everybody else that played quarterback for the Saints was running for their life. Couldn't open a hole for running back. Alvin Kamara certainly suffered from that. And, yeah, I love the pick. Mickey Loomis thinks this guy could be in the franchise for 10, 15 years plus. Big man, like you said, Outland Trophy winner, a Lombardi Trophy winner, was awarded the best tackle in football last year. I thought he was the second best tackle in this draft outside of Will Campbell. So, yeah, no problem with the pick, give it an A+.
No question about that. Quarterback Talkin Show, Louisville. He's a quarterback, 7-year player, will be 26 this fall in week 4, had several injuries, but there were broken bones. Here's the difference between broken bones and ligament injuries. Broken bones, you come back a lot faster. You had a broken collarbone and broken leg. And with injuries like Achilles tendon or with a ACL or PCL, trust me, take it from me, it takes a long time to come back. I had ACL and PCL, and I'm telling you, it took me forever to come back to 8 weeks without walking. 8 weeks now. It's changed now. It's a lot better now, the technology and what have you. But this guy's a 6'5", 225-pound guy. He's a very accurate quarterback. Saban loved him. And get this, Jonathan, he ran a 4.6 in the 40-yard dash in the combine. 4.6.
Yep.
And he can make deep throws. I like him. Kellen Moore works better with this type. He's kind of like a Dak Prescott type. Now, again, is he going to be a Drew Brees? I'm not saying that. Will he be another Dak Prescott? A possibility. This guy is not a bad – I can't wait to see how he goes. There's some guys right now, including Todd McShay, said this guy is going to be the Game 1 starter. He's going to be the Game 1 starter. I give the Saints a B on this one right here. What say you?
Chris, I'm going to go B++++.
Cool.
I can't give it the A-, but I certainly want to. I thought for the value, Tyler Shuck, and it is Shuck. That's how he says it.
I know.
Shuck
Can you believe that? It's Shough.
Yeah, got to change the spelling for sure.
But I mean, here in Louisiana, how can we correct somebody else how they spell their name and how we say it?
Right. So this guy was honorable mention All ACC last year, like you said, battled through 2 very difficult injuries. His first stop was at Oregon, Chris. You know how I know this guy's smart? He has 2 degrees from Oregon. One is criminal justice, the other is political science. He graduated in 3 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Then
know
he went and
that.
got his master's at Texas Tech for interdisciplinary studies. That was in 2022. This is the last quarterback that will ever be drafted that was born in the 1990s. This
Wow.
guy's 26. He's already married. The Saints need
Look
an
at you
adult
coming
in
up
the
with
room.
the stats. I love that.
Yeah. I had to do my research. You know, I'm a big Saints guy. And everybody was blasting the Saints for the pick. They kept showing that throw from the combine, the no-look sidearm. It was a bad throw. But I went and looked at the study, looked at the tape, and this guy was pretty impressive. The arm talent is certainly there. The prototypical build, just like you said, very smart, mature. Saints love guys that have been through a little adversity and come out the other end. I think that builds character and it just gives them the right mindset of dealing with adversity. This guy certainly has that. As I mentioned, he's married, 26, more mature for his age, 7 years in college. And people say, oh, that might be a terrible thing. But like you said, no ligament damage, broke a collarbone, broke a fibula bone in his leg. So I'm very excited about the pick. He will compete day 1. It'll be a quarterback competition. We already saw what Spencer Rattler and Haener could do, Jake Haener. It's time to move on. It's time to turn the page. The Derek Carr experiment is over. He doesn't want to be here. He's up at church talking about how ESPN's lying about his injury and how the Saints knew about it the whole time. I'm done with Derek Carr. I wish they'd cut him. Eat the money. I don't care at this point. It's over.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot big hitting this year and next year if they do cut him. Trade him. I don't know how that changes. It might change a little bit on the draft, but not this year. As far as the
and one more thing about Tyler Shuck, Chris. You know, a lot of these quarterbacks don't even go to the combine. If they do, they never throw.
Right.
And this guy, at the job interview for the NFL, he performed the best out of any of the quarterbacks. It wasn't close. He had the best performance at the combine. And at the Senior Bowl, went 9 for 13 and had a touchdown. Like, this guy just puts on tape what he can do. I don't care that he's old. Look, if he was 22 and had the same makeup, same build, hadn't dealt with the injuries, he'd be a top 5 pick, and I'll take it to the bank.
And he's mature. At 26 years old, he's going to be very mature. He's going to be the most mature guy you could ever get as far as the most important position in football. So I love that big time. The third pick the Saints did was defensive tackle James Broughton. He's from Texas, very strong. Can one-arm an offensive lineman and get what he needs to get to the quarterback. He drives offensive line back big time. I'd give this about a C to a C plus on this. What say you?
Yeah, I got him in the C plus, maybe B minus range. Big man, 6'5", 320 as we listed at. Started 15 games, 2 out of 24, and it was his best season in college. 39 tackles and 4 sacks. This guy was highly recruited coming out of high school. A top 80 national recruit. Bo Davis called him chicken legs on the phone. They were laughing about it. They have a great relationship. If Bo Davis trusts this kid, he thought he was worth a third-round pick. I fully trust he's going to be able to plug right next to the Brian Brissy and be able to not only plug up those holes, but also create some type of pressure up the middle. And we all know quarterbacks hate that middle pressure. So I like to pick up for the Saints. I'll give it a B minus C plus depending on how he turns out. Look, big men struggle in the heat. And, you know, Coach Kellen Moore wants to have that training camp in New Orleans. So we'll see how he fares, if he can stay healthy, acclimate to that weather, and then get going for his rookie season.
No question about that. And you want your defensive tackles to be big because they plug the hole. They're the most unathletic and most out-of-shape guys on the whole football team is your defensive tackle. But you want them to be big so they plug the hole. And they're not movable. You can't move them as an offensive line. You want them to stay there where they got in their hole, in their gap. You want them to stay there. All right, their fourth pick is going to be safety Jonas Sanker from Virginia. Big hitter in college. This guy can hit you. He hits you hard. He's tied for third in the quickest 10-yard split with a 1.51 seconds, which means his closing speed is pretty fast.
Yep.
meaning him coming from the safety spot, and you've got a wide receiver that may doing a little curl, let's say. This guy is coming from the backside, and he's going to close in quick, and when you catch the football, he's going to make you pay for it. You better hold on to that football. You better have stick-em on your freaking hands because he's going to knock you big time. He's a very smart safety, and he reads the quarterback very well. I get another C here in this one for this pick. What say you?
I give it a C minus. Not that I don't like the player. I thought that Jonas Sanker was one of the best tackling defensive backs in the draft. Built that 6'1" frame. He's going to be able to put some weight on, put some muscle. Like you said, he could lay the boom in college. Guy was a team captain. Saints love team captains. Key piece of that Virginia defense, and they're pretty good. Why do you sign Justin Reed to pair him up with the Honey Badger if you're going to go draft a safety that you think is going to come in and compete right away?
We all know that's what's
I
happening.
don't mind the competition. I do think this guy will be able to plug into that safety in the box role, that 3 safety look that the Saints defense has traditionally done. So I don't mind the pick. I don't know if it fits our personnel perfectly, but Jonas Sanker is a very good player.
Well, you notice that just like Demario Davis, at one point they're going to start slacking. Demario Davis had more tackles in his career last year than any other year. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
And he's had 100 tackles every year of his career. We've talked about this on the show except for 2 years. It's absolutely incredible. So he's incredible, but you know his production is going to go down. His playing time is going to go down, and I think the Honey Badger will be the same thing. Honey Badger don't want to come off the field.
No.
Ever. And that's what I love that guy. I think the 5th pick for the New Orleans Saints, I think they got a steal here. And linebacker Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma. This guy's fired up, man. This guy is on the field, is just absolutely unbelievable. He had 348 tackles as a 3-year starter, 34 and a half behind the line. 34 and a half. He's got a quick reaction to the ball, big time. He gets to the ball quickly. I think it's a B on this one. A lot of people were excited they got this guy, that he was still around at the 5th pick for the Saints. That's unbelievable. I think this is one of the steals. I give it a B.
Yeah, I give it an A, Chris, for the value at 4th round pick, 112. I mean, the guy was a 2-time All-American in Oklahoma. Started 37 of 47 games his career. Had 3 seasons with over 100 tackles. The production is absolutely on tape. And again, once again, team captain. So locker room guy, likes the culture. Excited about Danny Stutzman. Big man, 6'3", 233. Can run sideline to sideline. Good tackler in college. You mentioned the tackles for loss that he racked up. So adding depth to that linebacker room, he's going to learn a lot from Demario Davis, going to learn a lot from Pete Warner, and it's good to have depth at that position.
Because we lost Willie Gay, obviously. He played 1 year here, and he was gone. And I thought Willie Gay started out the season great. At preseason, this guy was all over the place. And then after that, he got hurt a lot. Didn't get to even play against his old team in Kansas City when they played at Kansas City on that Monday Night Football. I think there's 2 positions that I didn't think the Saints did a very good job at because it just didn't fall in their position. That was cornerback and wide receiver. I think they both failed in that category. Their cornerback, they did get Quincy Riley. He's from Louisville. I give it a C to a C minus on that one. What say you?
Yeah, I give Quincy Riley a C. I mean, it was a position of need for the Saints. You lose Paulson Debo. This kid's built pretty similar. 5'11", really long arms, and he could run. Good in man-to-man. Needs some work on his zone coverage. But, yeah, they really like him. He was a state champion sprinter in high school in South Carolina, played both sides, both inside and outside, I should say, for Louisville in 22 through 24. So versatility, obviously the Saints like that. They can play the nickel or stretch out to defend the boundary. So need to improve. That's a guy that's going to come in and try to get some work. Hopefully he makes the roster because the Saints did use a 4th-round pick on him. But it remains to be seen. Athletic ability is absolutely there, but he does struggle in zone, Chris. Sometimes he gets caught looking in the backfield. It was on tape. He lost a defender a couple times. And at Louisville, second Louisville kid. I mean, Tyler Shuck and then Quincy. So, yeah, we'll see. I give it a solid C, though, Chris.
Yeah, I think that if you don't make the practice squad, it's because they need a cornerback. They could get him off the practice squad just like that, but I think he could be the last 4 picks could be practice squads if they even make the team. Quincy Riley's one. I think David Neal, Kansas, is another one. I think he really has a chance to either make the team or on the practice squad. He's an all-time leading rusher. Of course, the Saints did get rid of a couple of running backs. So with that, I give this guy a C minus. The all-time leading Kansas Jayhawk rusher, though, in school history. What say you?
Yeah, I give it a C plus, Chris. I don't mind drafting a running back, especially with the new offensive line. Kellen Moore likes to run the football. You saw it last year. with the Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley. Yeah, the production is absolutely there. 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons under Kansas Jayhawks. Their most prolific rusher in history of the program. Ran a 4.58 at the combine in the 40. And, yeah, I think he's going to produce. The guy can catch the football. He can block. Mickey Loomis said he's a 3-down back. And I do believe the production was there in college to give him a shot at making a pro team. If he can catch the football and protect on third down, I do believe he'll have a niche in the NFL. We'll see if he makes a team.
Right. Jamal Williams obviously is gone. He never made it big in New Orleans after 2 seasons. Coming from Detroit, broke their record as far as single-season touchdowns that was held by Barry Sanders, but he never made it in New Orleans. Now, again, you can kind of credit the offensive line for not just having a good offensive line, but we'll see how this guy makes it. So they do need a running back, no question about that. Tight end, they got a lot of tight ends they signed. Plus, will we see the tight ends we've had still be on the team? Maliki Matavo, UCLA, to me, gets a D-. What say you?
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of tape yet on the tight end. Obviously, that's a position of need for the New Orleans Saints, as well as every position they drafted. But I like the kid. I mean, he led at UCLA in receptions with 41 and receiving yards with 506 in 2024. He had 2 touchdowns. So production's there, reliable target, big body, 6'8", Chris, 263 pounds. So, yeah, whoever the quarterback is for the Saints, you love a tight end that's 6'8", with some meat on him, go over the middle and catch the football. So reliable target. Once again, he's competing for a roster spot, but definitely has the frame, has the build, and the potential to be an NFL tight end.
And with the 6'8" frame, I train his, and if I'm this guy, I work my behind off of the red zone. That's a perfect red zone guy. Throw the ball up high where nobody else can get it, because, I mean, those little 5'11" cornerbacks and safeties, they've got an unbelievable vertical leap. That's why they're cornerbacks. 6 foot, 6'4", 6'2" players usually don't do well because it's hard. They look like giraffe legs trying to do the backlog and try to go 5 yards that way. But I'm going to tell you, 6'8" guy, I'd put him there, be another Jimmy Graham in the red zone, which, by the way, the first time Jimmy Graham played with Drew Brees, the second time Jimmy Graham came, they didn't put him in the damn red zone. Yeah. And the fans cheered every time he got in the ball game in the red zone. This guy's unbelievable in the red zone. All right, but he's done now. He's retired. Edge rusher, which nobody calls defensive ends anymore. Nobody calls linebacker. In the old days of Pat Swilling and Ricky Jackson, they were linebackers. Then they're now defensive ends. Now they're edge. Everybody calls them edge rushers. Everybody. Fidel Diggs, Syracuse, really not much on this guy. I give him an F on this one. I think he'll be either not tough time making the team to a practice squad guy.
And Lightning might strike in the bottle, Chris. This guy has the build to be pretty special. 6'5", 257. He was honorable mention All-ACC last year. He's a 3-time team captain. Of course, we talked about the Saints love these team captains. Started his career at Texas A&M. You know, they paid the good players. Started in 2020, finished in 2023. Went to Syracuse 2024. Started all 12 regular season games at Syracuse last year. Recorded 45 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks. Forced a fumble, recovered that fumble, and he had a pass breakup. Had 120 tackles over his career, and he ran a 4.57 in the 40. So, yeah, the makeup is there. A solid athlete with a lot of production, Chris. If Bo Davis could kind of coach this kid up and refine the technique, he might actually be pretty dangerous in the NFL. And not a lot of these pass rushers that come out of college, not every one of them is like a – Daniil Hunter couldn't scratch the playing field at LSU. This guy was a freak athlete, but he could not scratch the playing field. He couldn't get any playing time. Go to the NFL. He's been dominating for 10 years. So hopefully he catch lightning in a bottle with this 7th-round pick. Definitely worth the 7th-round pick just to make up alone. 6'5" with that 250 frame. This guy's going to be dangerous.
Yep, going to be unbelievable. So Banks Jr. got an A, the first pick, offensive tackle Kelvin Banks. I gave Tyler Schock a B. I gave Broughton a C. I gave Sanker a C. I gave Lanny Stutzman a B+. I gave Quincy Riley a C. I gave David Neal, the running back from Kansas, a C-, D- for Maliki Matavo, and then edge rusher Fidel Diggs an F. I give overall grade for this a C+ to almost a B- for the Saints. What say you?
Yeah, I agree, Chris. I would go B-. Did hit a lot of position as needs. Look, and we'll see if it works out. Everybody's trying to trash on Mickey Loomis and say how he's kicking the can down the road every year. He's the worst GM in the country. He should quit. He should get fired. In 2017, Mickey Loomis absolutely knocked the ball out of the park with a draft, where he drafted 5 starters that were with the team for at least 6 years. Hopefully, this is some resemblance of Jeff Island getting in his ear with the new head coach, getting some real building blocks back into the Saints organization, because you got to have some rookie contracts that produce for you, because it's the oldest roster in the league with all that dead money. Next year is going to be a problem again, and you just lost your starting quarterback that you gifted $40 million. Got to do well this draft. So I'm going B minus with the hope that it could turn into a B plus.
Yahoo Sports gave him a B minus, ESPN a B minus, Sports Illustrated gave him a D minus, Fox Sports gave him a B, Bleacher Report gives him a D plus. General Manager Mickey Loomis said in this press conference, and this shows my point, that there was not a deep draft. He said there was not a lot of movement this year. The big teams that seemed to move through the trades were the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. They've got their team already, and they're going for next year's draft. Think about it, Jonathan, for next year's draft. Arch Manning is eligible, which I don't think he'll go. The Mannings are class people. I think Manning will want to get 2 years in of college. I don't think Arch Manning will go into the draft next year. So the number one quarterback could be Garrett Nussmeier. He could be the number one quarterback in the draft. Drew Aller is also a good one. Defensive tackle Peter Woods, safety Caleb Downs from Ohio State.
Ohio, right.
And then offensive tackle Caden Proctor from Alabama is going to be big. So I think next year's draft is way better. I think they got a more star-studded draft next year, and that's what Kansas City and Philadelphia were doing. They're putting all their eggs in a basket for next season, and that's what I like about that. All right, when we come back, we got LSU softball to talk about, Southern baseball, the Zurich Classic, Lady Tiger basketball, and Texas donors seem to be getting pretty big now they're in the SEC. We'll tell you more about that as we come back. Talking sports with me, Chris Powers, and Jonathan right here on Pelican Sports TV.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fouget. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fouget today.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
If you're a wing lover like me, you already know where the best and biggest wings in Baton Rouge are. TJ Ribs on Acadian and I-10. But did you know they also provide some of the best catering in town? Yeah. Their catering packages are custom built for parties and tailgates and overflowing with the tastiest barbecue you can find. Whether you go with the MVP package, the Heisman, or the Natty, you can't go wrong with TJ Ribs, because it's not just jumbo wings. They serve up truly tender beef brisket, perfectly roasted pulled pork, and smoky fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs. Don't forget the savory sausage and chopped beef. Come on down to TJ Ribs on Acadian and I-10, proud sponsors of the LSU Tigers and the Southern University Jaguars.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Marty. No. Marty is Marty, and nobody can take it away from him, brother. I'm Chris Powers. It's Talking Sports with me, Chris Powers. Jonathan Marty's in the house as well. The show's seen 5 times a week, and 89% of the New Orleans Metro still has Cox Cable. About 345,000 to 370,000 have it in the Baton Rouge area, 140 in Lafayette. Also seen in Morgan City. You can download the app and also the YouTube as well. All right, LSU with a big win yesterday to win the series against University of Florida for the first time since 2019. They're number 5 now in the RPI. Last weekend of the SEC's regular season, they'll be at Arkansas, so they'll be in the tournament next week. Next week they'll be in the tournament, and that one's in South Carolina, I believe. So big for LSU softball. Huge for LSU softball. Southern baseball got a big sweep over Mississippi Valley State in their final home SWAC series this weekend at the Bluffs. They'll play against McNeese State, I think, on May 9th. They have 9 SWAC games left, and they're all on the road. So you need 8 spots to be in the SWAC tournament in Birmingham, Alabama. They locked up. I'm going to say locked up. They're 4-game lead now over Mississippi Valley State. They had a 1-game lead going into that game, but now with the sweep, they have a 4-game lead over Mississippi Valley State. Pretty good lead against the other teams. So that looks good for Southern right there. The problem is on the road, they're 3-14 on the road, but in the SWAC, they're 2-7. So hopefully Southern can get that last seed at least and get into the SWAC tournament, which will be in a few weeks from now. The Zurich Classic of New Orleans was a classic for the fans. Everybody was going crazy. Record crowds, very, very good. McElroy talked about the fun from last year's tournament and said that really motivated him to have a great season, of course, winning the Masters just 2 weeks ago. So that was big. The power outage on the Golf Network and CBS Sports. So I wanted to watch the golf. I only do this one time. Masters actually 2 times. Masters. And then I also watch PGA Championship and the Open Championship, but especially watch the New Orleans Zurich Classic. So I had it on the big screen TV. Golf Network, 30 minutes later, 30 minutes before the end of the broadcast at 1:30, the feed was gone. I said, what the hell? I was blaming it on the Golf Network. Then CBS didn't have it for a long time. Then they went into rain delay. It was like 2 hours. You didn't see live coverage from that. And I'm like, what the heck is McElroy and them doing and Shane Lowry? So what are they doing? Well, what happened was at a power outage. Shame on CBS for not having some backup generator or something. Are you kidding me? It's a major broadcast network, and you didn't have it? That was absolutely embarrassing for CBS. Also, PGA Tour officials, as they're saying, they talked to the people over at the Zurich Classic and said the TPC is just not. It's too far away from New Orleans. If y'all want more golfers to come, better golfers to come, you got to get something closer. Now, they didn't like English Turn because they said it was too hard of a golf course. But now they're saying the TPC is not where they want to be, so they want to get it closer to the city. That golf classic's been in New Orleans since 1938. I don't look for them leaving. Lady Tigers of LSU picked up a huge transfer in Malaysia Fulwiley from South Carolina. She's going to be the point guard. Look at this potential starting 5. You got Fulwiley, you got Floje Johnson at guard, you've got Michaela Williams at guard as well, Amaya Joyner, a forward from East Carolina, and you've got from Notre Dame, Kate Noble. So you got a pretty good damn starting lineup next year. Zakiya Johnson, All-American forward, will be on the bench. If possible, she may win a starting lineup. Grace Knox, an All-American guard, and Bella Hines, a sharpshooter. So those you have that could be the LSU Tigers next year. One thing I'm looking at, Texas donors seem to be stepping it up now that they're in the SEC. They're in the boring Big 12, and they didn't seem like they were doing well there. They hadn't won a championship in a long time, but now you see the baseball program doing well. Baseball is very close to getting their first SEC crown in baseball in their first year. Football in the SEC championship game, they lost it to Georgia. Men's basketball didn't look good at all in the NCAA tournament. They didn't make it in the NCAA tournament at all. I'll take that back. They went and hired Sean Miller from Xavier, so they got a big general manager and a lot of support staff, so they look good. They spent a lot of their money. Lady Horns finished 15-1 in the SEC, first place, tied for first with South Carolina, made the NCAA tournament's Final Four, but lost to South Carolina in the SEC championship tournament and the NCAA tournament. Softball's 13-8, ranked third, and they're fourth in the SEC, and they're passing Georgia, who hadn't won a national championship in 2 years, and Alabama in 4 years. We'll talk sports next week with me, Chris Powers, Jonathan, and Marty. Till then, so long, everybody.
Rocks and fires. Tommy White with it. Johnson heads to the ball.